We bought a $20,000 used GTI from Carvana with the intent of making it as fast as modern performance cars. Did we do it? Well, absolutely yes. Should you do it? Well, let's see what the data says about how we got there. Hi folks, here at Grassroots Motorsports, we love our project cars, and one of the most satisfying things we do with our project cars is we take older, maybe 1, 2, 3 generation old vehicles, and we see if we can make them the equal or even better of whatever their modern equivalent in the marketplace is. And that was just the focus of our Mk7 Volkswagen GTI. It was a $20,000 used car out of a Carvana vending machine, and our intent with it was to see if we could bring it in line with modern performance small cars like the Honda Civic Type R and Subaru BRZs and GR Corollas and stuff like that, because those are cars that are selling for upwards of $40,000, $50,000, $60,000. And what could we do with our $20,000 GTI to give it the same level of performance? If you'd like to check out everything that we've done to this VW GTI to shave 8 seconds off of the lap time at our official test track, you can check out the playlist down below. One of the things you might notice in that playlist is a lot of the parts and a lot of the technology that we have sourced for this project came from 034 Motorsport. They are not only a partner in this project, they are the sponsor of today's video, and you can check out their full line of accessories, performance for your Volkswagen at their website. It is linked down in the description below as well. And now, back to the video. First off, let's talk about where that 120.73 stacks up sort of in general in the pantheon of cars that we've tested. And the answer is, it's on the quick side. It puts it in league with stuff like the Honda Civic Type R. It puts it a couple seconds ahead of stuff like the Hyundai Elantra N and Veloster N. Puts it right up with stuff like the Volkswagen Golf R, Mustang Dark Horse, a lot of very cutting edge performance cars up in that low 120 area. But the V-Box data is going to tell us exactly what it's doing on track, and maybe even how it could not only be the equal, but be the better of some of these modern performance cars as well. So let's take a look at some of the data traces. All right, so the first comparison we'll bring up here is going to be the blue trace. That will be the Toyota GR Corolla. That's going to be versus the red trace of the GTI here. And just looking over this trace, we can bring up our Delta trace here, which shows us exactly where the GTI is making up its time. And we see the first big area where it's pulling a gap on the Corolla is this tight right hand of turn 2 at the firm. Now, this is an interesting corner. You can see it a little bit in the in-car here. You're cresting a rise. Yeah, look, I know it's Florida. Florida is very flat, but yes, we do have some pavement irregularities, and this is a corner that falls away right at the apex. So if you charge it too hard on the entry, you're going to push right off the back of this corner. And we see that the GTI is actually doing a little bit better job taking a later entry into the corner here. The GR Corolla, we see this speed trace dropping down here earlier. Minimum speed comes at an earlier point in the corner, and minimum speed for the VW comes at a later point in the corner. So the GR Corolla taking a little bit more of a point and shoot approach to this corner, whereas the GTI is using a little bit, better turn in, better stability in the early corner to get just a faster run at the apex. And we see that we've got a big jump in our Delta right here, where the GTI is picking up a good portion, picking up a couple of tenths right there and holding on to it over the next segment. Now, it's getting a little bit back right here. Let's see where this is. We see the VW start to give back some time here And that is going to be primarily, in turn 4, fast sweeping turn 4. So the GTI really liked this low speed corner, did not like the high speed kink of turn 4 quite as much as the GR Corolla did, but did a really nice job accelerating out of turn 4. In fact, almost out accelerating the GR Corolla. Now this GR Corolla is a 300 horsepower plus car, and the GTI did not certainly start out as a 300 plus horsepower car, but it is giving the GR Corolla the what for here on the acceleration curve, holding right with it down this next straightaway. And we see that where's the GTI start? Yeah, so they've almost pulled even here again after that superior run that the Corolla had through turn 4, and the GTI starts clawing back a little bit again in these slower corners, turn 5 and turn 6 here at the firm. GTI is clawing back a little bit of its time, slowly but surely. Gives a little bit back here through the early part of the S's. That tends to come down to shock compliance. How hard can you hit those curves, and how straight can you keep the car through that section there? And the GR Corolla seems to have won that battle there, but the GTI grabs a ton of it back in the slowest corner on track, that being the hairpin right here. We see the GTI claw back a ton of time in the late stages of braking and through the middle corner section. In fact, we see a trend here of the GTI and its low speed handling being the match, or the even the better of this GR Corolla in this configuration. GTI gives a little bit back right here once they exit the corner. This is the all-wheel drive of the GR Corolla, hooking up a little bit better in that low-speed exit, whereas the GTI being just front-wheel drive, those front wheels are going to be doing some spinning there, and you're going to be losing a little bit of time. But we see once the GTI hooks up again, it is the equal in acceleration of that GR Corolla, and it is the equal or very slightly better of the blue trace of that GR Corolla through the rest of the lap. Here's the only place we see the GR Corolla clawing back the acceleration, only in very, very high speed. This is above, about 75 miles an hour. Does that GR Corolla start using those 300 horsepower to start pulling away from the GTI? But at least when it comes to the GR Corolla, we are seeing low speed handling of the GTI and impressive mid-range acceleration being what makes the difference in those two cars. So the next comparison we're going to look at is going to be the mighty Honda Civic Type R. This is the current FL5 version, which is the fastest Civic Type R that we have tested at the firm. A veritable dead heat between a current Civic Type R and this Volkswagen GTI that is probably duplicatable for 2/3 of the price of this Civic. So where is the Civic hanging that 1/10.5 on the GTI? Well, we can see that now the red trace here is the Civic, the blue trace is the GTI. The red trace will always be the faster of the two traces in Circuit Tools here, our VBox analysis software. So we can see that again, this Volkswagen has excellent low speed handling. In fact, the VW is pulling back some time from the Civic Type R in the turn 2-3, or the turn 2 to the exit of turn 2 segment. Really loves those tricky low speed turn-ins, even more so than the Civic Type R. But we immediately see the Civic Type R start clawing back some of this time through acceleration. 317 horsepower from that Civic Type R. That's gonna make up some ground on pretty much anything. But again, turn in and braking For turn 4, we see the Volkswagen pull back a little more of its own time. Mid-corner speed, we're going to give that nod to the Civic Type R, and that helps it sort of pull back ahead of the GTI. And until this point, the GTI has been ahead on track after that superior run through turn 2, and its excellent low speed manners. But the high speed manners of the Civic Type R and the run down to the next corner, we see these acceleration curves coming pretty close to each other through the mid-range, but we start to see the Civic Type R gapping the GTI, heading down towards the next section, and it's pulled a pretty substantial advantage on the GTI to the next section. Braking, again, the GTI pulls back ahead of the Civic Type R, and the Civic is actually doing pretty well here in the low speeds of turn 5. On the short run over to turn 6, the GTI, nice run through turn 6 here, keeps things fairly even, maybe pulls back a couple of hundredths. So again, the low speed cornering of this GTI seems to be a bit of a theme, and it is working very well to claw whatever advantage it can from more modern automobiles. Stays pretty even here through the S's, and the Civic probably using its superior power and my willingness as a test driver to pound those curbs as hard as possible to get that Civic through the S's just a little bit faster. And then we see the GTI claw back another big ton of speed here under braking into the tightest corner and all the way through the midsection of the tightest corner. So again, the low speed cornering and low speed performance of this GTI is what is doing a lot of the heavy lifting in its lap times. Got a great run down to the next corner. In fact, the GTI is out accelerating the mighty Civic Type R down to turn 8. That's actually pretty impressive. We see a pause in the acceleration of the Type R here. That's going to be the shift, and then another pause here. We actually do a 2-3 shift, then a 3-4 shift in that Civic Type R. And the GTI with its DSG transmission really taking advantage of just those minor pauses. In fact, we can see on the Delta chart here that when we make that shift, we have an instant drop in the Delta, and the GTI and its instant shifting DSG is really taking advantage of that, along with some pretty impressive acceleration down to turn 8. Again, the GTI takes back a nice chunk right here on the turn in to turn 8. Gives it right back though through the mid part of turn 8, but takes another chunk back at the exit of turn 8. So wherever the road tightens up, that GTI is right on your tail. And the GTI actually, does another really nice job at accelerating down this next straight, hanging right with the Civic Type R, and again, taking advantage of these shift points of the Civic Type R to claw back a bunch of time. We can see that even up to the very last corner, this GTI was actually ahead of the Civic Type R. It was only in the final corner that the Civic Type R pulled ahead again to gap the GTI by a little more than a tenth. So can you take a $20,000 used car, throw some parts at it, throw some testing and tuning and sorting at it, and make it the on-track equal of one of these modern cars? Yes, I think we have proven that absolutely 100% you can do that through the help of companies like 034 Motorsport and through your own testing, experimentation, and proper sorting. Now, what don't you get in a used Volkswagen that you do get in a brand new Honda? Well, I think the words used Volkswagen are the main things that you don't get. You're not going to get a warranty. You might not get as aggressive of a financing plan, but you're also not going to get the dealer markup that you are paying with some of these modern performance cars. So I think what we've proved here is, yes, there are multiple paths to fantastic lap times. Whether you want to save some money, do it yourself, have the satisfaction of being able to say that, yes, I took this car, this raw lump of clay, and I shaped it into something that is equally as good as something that I could walk into a modern dealership and buy off of the showroom floor today. So that right there, I think, is pretty impressive and pretty satisfying. Folks, if you want other ways to be satisfied, you can check out the entire catalog of stuff we have here on YouTube. The best way to do that is to subscribe to our channel. You can click that subscribe button right down there, and you will have first crack at all of the content we post here on YouTube. And while you're at it, throw this video a like if you liked it as well. You can also check us out online at grassrootsmotorsports.com, where you can check out our entire website, which features all of the editorial from the print magazine as well, and a way for you to connect with other enthusiasts and the staff of the magazine through our message board. Folks, we appreciate you being here. Remember to like and subscribe to this video. Check us out online at grassrootsmotorsports.com, and we're going to see you next time at the track.
Support brands who support Grassroots Motorsports. Get your chemical solutions from CRC Industries. To learn more, visit crcindustries.com. Want to see more content like this? Make sure to hit that subscribe button and like this video. And for more information, visit us online at grassrootsmotorsports.com.